The shootings in Orlando, Fort Myers, and the two horrific acts of police brutality in Louisiana and Minnesota were truly saddening events. No doubt, the victims and those close to them were severely impacted by the actions of only a few people. As our country becomes separated to these extremes, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump made several disturbing comments after these terrible events. Trump delivered a speech after 49 people had been killed, calling on a ban of all immigrants from areas of the world with a history of terrorism against the U.S.
I will use this power to protect the American people. When I'm elected, I will suspend immigration from areas of the world where there is a proven history of terrorism against the United States, Europe, or our allies.
We better just build a wall around the entire United States. Now, besides his wall in Mexico, I do not know how Trump plans to carry out his ridiculous rhetoric.
It will be lifted, this ban, when and as a nation we're in a position to properly and perfectly screen these people coming into our country.
We could try opening Ellis Island again.
They're pouring in, and we don't know what we're doing.
Well, frankly, Mr. Trump, I don't think you know what you are doing. If you look at history, you'll see that what you're suggesting is not as easy as you're making it sound, or moral, or ethical. The president is supposed to unite us, not divide us, let alone try and separate us from the rest of the entire world with an iron curtain. Does that term sound familiar? Trump presented us with a perfect example of Westerners promoting Islamophobia when calling for a ban on Islamic immigrants.
The killer, whose name I will not use or ever say, was born in of Afghan parents.
In fact, the shooter was born in New York City, not Afghanistan. But this small piece of dialogue further ingrains into people's mind that all people from the Middle East are violent and anti-American.
We cannot continue to allow thousands upon thousands of people to pour into our country, many of whom have the same thought process as this savage killer.
But besides politicians, the economy has also divided us, and despite recent beliefs, it is not getting any better. Truth is, only a part of Americans have returned to wealthier lives since the end of the recession. Back in the 1950s, black Americans were twice as likely to be unemployed as white Americans. That number has not changed to this day. Currently, the percentage of an American being born into poverty and making it out of poverty is very small. In fact, only 7.5% of Americans born into poverty move up classes in comparison to other countries like the 9% in the UK, 11.7% in Denmark, and 13.5% in Canada. Let's flip that around. 92.5% of Americans born into poverty stay in poverty. 66% of black children live in America's poorest neighborhoods, compared to 6% of white kids. The average black family income is 59% of the average white family income, down from 65% in 2000. In 2014, the median full-time male wage was $50,000, down from $53,000 in 1973. The only way we can come out of this economic segregation is to help ourselves and each other. Black Americans are not the only ones being persecuted, but the new waves of immigrants coming to America are also, especially when the Islamophobic attitude gets broadcast through almost every media outlet. The bad media casts the entire group of Middle Eastern immigrants into a violent, undesirable spotlight. Stop listening to our radical leaders and see what good all these new people can do for us, rather than focusing on the negative. Let's be real. There are pros and cons to everything. Maybe we should start focusing on the pros rather than the cons of having immigrants come to the States. You may be surprised, but America, you need another wave of immigrants. The large baby boomer generation is starting to retire, and immigrants bring more young workers who are motivated to make an independent living. Recent statistics show that an immigrant is twice as likely to start a new business as a native-born American. This is the kind of help our community needs. This is the kind of help our economy needs to eventually become equal and have an effect on these uneven statistics. Is America divided? Yes. Do we have a race issue? Absolutely. What can we do to fix it? Not build a wall, for starters. Remember that an America that closes its doors has decided to settle. The world is continuing to grow. Let us keep America growing with it.